Bonjour, mademoiselle et monsieur, and perhaps madames. Welcome back to the IronSquid. It is currently tied 1-1 between Dongregu and Nestea, and in kind of a unusual expectation, we would generally say Nestea is the macro, long-term oriented player, and yet in both games he has done the big attack of the Roach.
Yep. I think, you know, he actually, in the interview previously with Todd, said he was a little fearful. So maybe he's under the impression that that's what's going to win it for him. These kind of ending it before it actually escalates into too much of what he would consider to be DRG's territory.
Well, I mean, if that's his mindset going in, I'm going to just cheese and all in to win, and then he's going to go up against Life in the final. He's like, time to really cheese. 7 pool only. Goes in, Life 10 pooled. GG, well played. Strong meta. As we head into this game on Cloud Kingdom, up in the top right corner. Legend says that he actually created the universe to lead up to this moment where he could be tied 1-1 in the IronSquid semifinals. It is LGIM Nestea.
Spawning down in the bottom left-hand corner here, as are Red Zerg himself. Again, tied up with his opponent. He goes by the name of Dongregu.
You know, and of course his tag is MVP DRG, which is kind of becoming a trend where the players whose names are letters join teams who have lots of letters with them, like when JYP joined EG and it was EG JYP RC. Was very confusing for one of my friends who watched his first ever StarCraft cast.
First ever?
Yeah, it was first. You know, it was one of my roommates' friends who came by the house and walked in and saw EGJYPRC and who's Eggjibberk? Like, I thought, try to pronounce it, and from then on out, I decided that that's the way that the cast must be. We see DRG actually having quite a late spawning pool compared to Nestea, who's just decided that he's going to 10 pool every game all the time.
You know, it's funny because for the longest time, and ZVZ, I actually on ladder we 10 pooled just every game anyway because it was just one of the things to go for. It was good technically, offensively. It was good economically against all the variations that your opponent could eventually go for, and you try and play out of it if your opponent just somehow blind counters it, but it doesn't leave you in a completely crippled state. And Nestea's just apparently going back to that. It's
you make it sound so unfair. It's like, I'm going to do the build where you rush lings and bases.
It's, well, I mean, you know, Nestea's making it work. And you see Life 10 pool a lot. Like, a lot. He loves his 10 pools.
Wow, but Dongregu doing a clever little twist of his own, throwing down the expansion and lings before he throws down the queen. There's been plenty of time for Dongregu to have built those queens, but opted not to, trying to get these lings out. That hatch is really low on health already. Dongregu is trying to buy time. It is at about 1/3 health, and it's time to do the ever so most dangerous dance. Look at the way Nestea's placing those lings, maintaining the concave.
And trying to dance them back as quickly as he can do as well. Here he's going to force the cancellation. He has to cancel.
Oh, no!
Oh, he did cancel!
He missed it!
Oh!
Nestea, the king of the universe!
Why didn't he cancel?
I don't know. He thought that his opponent would think that he was going to pull back and not think that he would have time to cancel, but that's not what he thought.
Mind games.
Mind games, my friend. Now DRG clearly well behind Nestea.
Oh
Resources, 1 unit lost, and that was not an oversized overlord. That was a hatch and a drone, I suppose.
DRG, how? Oh my! Okay, I can't believe that actually happened here. But Dongregu in a catastrophic position this early on. What? Okay, so it's 14 workers to 13 right now in favor of Dongregu right now. But still, he's trading a load of lings at the front and. Actually, he's going to come off worse.
Oh my gosh, Nestea is dominating this game. Nestea is the player who says, if you make one mistake, I will roll you, and I will not let the edge up. In game 1, we saw Nestea demonstrate what happens when you don't make that mistake. These plays that Nestea are making, not going to get the edge, but here, Nestea slaughtered the expansion, no cancel, won the Ling battle. Now coming back for slaughter number 2. Dongregu hanging in there, still trying to make Lings, bringing the queen into the foray. But even now, Nestea might even kill off the queen as well. Oh my god, if that queen falls, it's getting surrounded.
Ling's on the way to reinforce, though. They will save it for now. But behind all of this, Nestea has been happily droning. He does have his 2 bases completely up and running now. Already has a little bit of that saturated, whilst Donregu's having to play catch-up a little bit, really, having to transfer some of his drones that are equal right now. But thankfully, because Nestea does have that little bit of a lava advantage to kick things off here, his droning is going to be a little bit more fierce than DRG's.
Yeah, actually, as we head on over to the units lost tab, I mean, Dongregu, I think, clearly, 700 is way bigger than 256. But with any strategy that involves an early attack, if you are devoting money to an early attack, you are taking money away from tech, from expanding, from all those other things. So in other words, if you devote to an early attack, you must do damage just to make the game even. Interestingly, in this position, we see the players are tied at 44 to 44 supply. Look at the units tab. We actually see that Dongregu, who's currently ahead on speed, is also ahead on drones. In fact, the only way in which Dongregu is behind right now is Lings. And as Dongregu is going to be making more and more Lings, I mean, I think there's every chance that Dongregu can actually stay in this game, which would be just a phenomenal recovery.
Yeah, Roach Warren is on the way as well for Nestea here whilst he goes for that. I think Nestea just goes for Roach Ling Bane aggression again. I mean, he's got, well, he only has the 2 gas guys down right now, but the 3rd one is being taken in range of that Overlord, so it has been spotted. But still, it is looking very, very similar to that. It depends on how many Overlords he ends up making,
Oh my gosh,
of course.
yeah, it looks very much so.
1, 2... Is there a 3rd one?
I think that is an excellent call. I mean, this is a fantastic all-in.
3rd,
It exploits players who try to get a little greedy. And Dongregu, he's not behind, but most players would ouch, what an excellent play right there by Nestea. Most players would think, oh my god, I lost my hatch. My opponent is probably way ahead in tech. I gotta hurry up. And then what does Dongregu do? He rushes to the lair. He rushes to get all his geysers up. Look.
Oh god, and he's gonna go Spire.
He's going Spire. Oh my god, the roaches are already being produced. What a brilliant metagame play by Nestea. Dongregu is walking right into the trap. He has to flood spine crawlers right now.
Yeah, he really does. That aggression is going to be on the way pretty darn soon. These Banelings are just trying to zone out the Lings here of Nestea to begin with, whilst he tries to put on a little bit of aggression. Will he get a whiff of this, though? I think he might have just seen the roaches fully with those Zerglings, and with that, he's now setting up a few spine crawlers
spines,
here.
3 spines going down. He's going to even before spines going down, spreading them out. He knows Banelings are coming into that. 20 Lings in production now for Nestea. Keep in mind, the attack still has 30 seconds until it is in full force. Nestea, he needs to make those Lings. Okay, now he's making them into Banelings. If these finish, and Dongregu is unable to get those spines up in time, he is done. It is lights out. He's found the Baneling vein.
Will he be able to put on the aggression he needs to here, Nestea, though? This is once again very, very high octane aggression. He really needs to make this work out for the amount that he's actually invested in it. A few Banelings go down to one another. Roach is going to push forward here, trying to kill off a lot of the spines. He did get those spines up in time, though. There's so many.
Oh my gosh, Dongregu with a phenomenal defense, but will it be enough? The Banelings of Dongregu did not manage to connect very well with Nestea's units. They're tied right now, 69 to 69 supply, LOL. Right now, we're seeing the worker supply dead even at 44 apiece, and a Paramutalisk getting produced. Those spines were done just in time. Dongregu, can he hold this off?
Those Mutalisks are on the way. It's like, normally when Mutalisks come out, they add a clock to all of these units. There's only 3 Mutalisks, but he cannot penetrate that wall. It is so difficult now for him to actually try and go for that. Nestea will be better off just sitting around outside and maybe even just going home with all of this and trying to expand.
Oh, Dongregu with the clutch defense. And it looks like Dongregu has successfully ended the all-in of Nestea. But you know what? I've been using the word all-in, and I think that that was the incorrect term. That's almost a derogatory term for Nestea's play, because as we see, he's clearly already set up 4 geysers. He's gotten the air defense. He has a decent excessive gas constructed to transition into infestors.
It's weird, because if this had been any other game and DRG would have not lost his hatch at the beginning and would have been a normal economical standpoint, and those Mutalisks would have come out to greet that, but it wouldn't have been 3 Mutalisks, it would have normally been 7 or 8, then it would have been, considering the lateness of Nestea's layer, it would have been very hard for Nestea to try and recover from that position. But because of the early game, Nestea should be all right. He should be okay, yeah.
Some strong ninja tactics by Nestea. Hiding the Lings, waiting to see the Mutalisk. Oh, waiting to see the Mutalisk there. And then counterattacking with the Lings. However, Nestea's Lings ran straight into some Banelings.
The Mutalisk dancing around here and don't want to get too close to those queens. Will retreat to the lovely, lovely help of those Zerglings, and he looks to put on his own aggression again. And actually, DRG only has 3 Roaches and 8 Zerglings, so he's making a few Roaches as well, but I don't think, well, Nestea doesn't want to fully commit, DRG doesn't want to fully commit to that frontal assault.
Now this is interesting. Nestea, who banked up plenty of gas to be able to do a transition into Infestors, is not... He's not doing it. He's going straight for Hydralisk. He's going for the unit that will soon enough have speed skates and nitro packs added to his little spines for the upcoming Heart of the Swarm. Now, it looks like Nestea, who is already a crowd favorite, wants to be a crowd favoriter, going for the Hydra Nidus combo. Completely outrageous kind of style, but absolutely brilliant. In this position, Nestea knows he's up against Dongre-gu, who has only just barely defended that push, and now is in the midst of a transition. Dongre-gu wants to be getting up more Infestors, wants to be droning up this expansion, and is essentially convinced that this contain is going to buy him all the time he needs. But now, going into Hydralisk with Roach.
Well, I love this choice as well, because against Mutalisk play in ZVZ, most of the time you actually end up to making all of these queens as well, and you take them with you. You take them with you to add great extra anti-air. You add the transfuse as well.
Oh,
nobody finds it!
But will 2 Zerglings be enough to deny this? And now there begins the puking. He's target firing. A Baneling pops out just in time to deny the Zerglings. And now it looks like Nestea can use all the queens he needs.
The slow march will begin.
Oh my god. The Death March, the March of Doom. Heading on down, there are not a lot of Roaches out for Dongre-gu in the unit counting station. We see that there are 38. I lied. That is the wrongest thing I've ever said. There are tons of Roaches out right now. Dongre-gu did not transition over to Infestors. He built nothing but brunt meat units. Plenty of Roaches. Oh, Dongre-gu! Now he's the one doing the metagame read.
Nestea moved all his Roaches and Hydralisks ahead of all the queens. He didn't have any potential transfuses to deal with. They're being wasted on the queens.
GG!
Game number 3, 2-1 to DRG.
Oh my god, Killaris, that was a clever little adjustment the DRG made. You know, you get behind after that early attack, and you say, oh my gosh, I have to start doing damage. I have to get my 3rd base up. I have to start droning it up. 99% of players would then go for Infestors in Dongre-gu's position and drones. Spend your gas on the Infestors, spend your minerals setting up your next expansion. And then the Mutaling, what do you do with that? You just contain, you defend, you hold. And you know that you're safe. Dongre-gu did something that most people would consider straight up weak, straight up crazy. He built his 3rd hatch at his 3rd and didn't drone at all. He built nothing but Roaches. Just Roach crazy. This will only defeat that sort of Nidus network play or a 2-base all-in play. And it was the perfect choice. Absolutely phenomenal by DRG.
Yeah, you have to be, it's a very, very ballsy tactic to go for. And, you know, he played it really well. So I still have all my money on DRG. He's looking pretty good in ZVZ. It's Nestea has to really pull something out of the hat, and it cannot be a Roachling Bane all in. Not for a 3rd time.
I will say, I think that the initial choice for Nestea to perform it was, I think, quite clever in Game 3. It's easy to just look at it and sort of blithely say, oh, he did the all-in twice in a row. Don't do things twice in a row. Well, honestly, after that initial killing off of the hatch, you know Dongre-gu is going to be scrambling to catch up.
Yeah.
And this all-in is designed to kill anyone in a state of transition. And a scramble is basically a panicked form of transition. So it should have, by all measure, done a killing blow to DRG. Because 3 killing blows in a row from Nestea, and he just watcha.
Ninja, man.
Yeah, he used
Ninja
the
mode.
forearm defense.
Pretty impressive. So our game number 4 is on the map as our lobby loads. We'll see you in a second. Antigua Shipyard. Ooh.
This is very much so a defender's map. very little room to wiggle your way into the opponent's base. You pretty much just have to have excellent defense and really good late game. I would not be surprised to see what we usually see on this map, which is 3 base versus 3 base, and then a huge series of battles over fourths.
One thing that I find about Antigua Shipyard in terms of, you were saying from your perspective, it's a defender's map. It entirely depends on, when you take your natural, where you defend in your natural.
Yes.
Because if you allow your opponent to get a good concave away from your hatchery, then you have very little room to actually set up some kind of defensive position. It's very difficult to really get good surface area against your opponent's concaves. So that's something that can come onto play in this map. I've seen a lot of situations where, you know, someone just goes for a big swell of roaches on 2 base very quickly and then just find that place. But your opponent has to let you get that spot. So it's all up to basically your opponent's mistakes in that regard to allow you.
Yeah, I mean, especially given the distances. I mean, with these roach attacks you're talking about, if your opponent spots and has some free larva available, most of them can be deflected. You have to do one of the July-style +1 hide 40 roaches and hit with it. And given what Nestea's been doing, that is quite possible. But at this point in time, we're going to be heading to a brief break. And when we come back, Nestea is 1 game away from elimination. We'll head down to the 3rd, 4th place match. Will his prediction come true with Dongregoo winning 3-1? Or will Nestea be able to tie it up? Find out after this.